All right. Welcome, peeps. Welcome again. Channel 210 Aquatics. My name is Anthony. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and call this episode "What Remains," and that's what remains of the fish room breakdown. And I gotta be honest with you guys, man, this room is still not ready. It's not where I originally intended it to be. Let me go ahead and do that like, share, subscribe thing that every YouTuber has to do for whatever reason with the algorithm. Smash the button, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And I appreciate that. Please overlook any messes that you may see anywhere, whether it be my living room or the fish room. And appreciate it. So let's check out the fish room. Without further ado, here we go. Yep. This is what remains. So I still got my Goudier lion's eye right there. That's the last stand standing in this room. I put some guys here on the 40 breeder, lots of fish in there. I had one die this morning. More on that later. And so I'll show you the other tanks now in the living room. Alright guys, so I've got 4 tanks in the living room and 4 in what used to be the fish room. So we're in the living room. This tank I used to have guppies in. It's a 10 gallon. It's always been right here in front of my little mini fridge, and kind of cool. I'm showing it to you today because I want to give you the status update here, but I've got some baby tangerine swords in here with some guppies. But when I broke down my pleco tank and I put a male and female pleco into 20 long in the fish room, just to hold them temporarily, those two, and then I went to go break down that 20 long as well. Those two male and female plecos ended up giving me some baby plecos. So I've got them here in a little fried tank. Maybe you can see them. Let's see. Check that out, huh? I've probably got about 20 of them. So I'm going to grow them out in here for a little bit, and I'll try to recreate that when I get a pleco tank set up again and give them the same conditions. Pretty funny, I built a whole tank for them and I couldn't get them to spawn. And then while I'm breaking down tanks and just moving them, they spawn for me. So, really happy about that. So the other 3 tanks in the living room, let's go there. Okay, so at the risk of repeating, this is where I'm at now. The 40 or 39 high, activated again with some angels. But for now, I've put plants in here to hold them, and they're kind of dying on me, these swords. This was the big sword that was in the 55. It was actually, I split it into 2. Don't think it liked that very much, but I need to figure out what I'm going to do, because I want to plant them. So if I don't get that 125 and escape it, then I got to start figuring out how I'm going to plant them in here, I guess. But for now, I've got some angels in here. Philippine blues, marble veils. There's Faith. She gave me a lot of fry angels as well. I've got her in here. That's probably one of her boys. He's turning out to be a nice, beautiful fish. I'm assuming that's a male. I could be wrong. It's probably too early to tell. I don't know. All my tangerine swords are here. More on that later as well. I had a few die in here. Obviously, I added some gravel with beneficial bacteria from another tank and threw in some duckweed and everything, and that has solved my problem. I did take an ammonia test, and I was spiked on ammonia, so I did another water change. That was a day after I had set this tank up, and then is when I noticed I started having to die off. So I waited about 2-3 days in a row, fish dying on me, and I realized my problem. that was after I did the water change. I was still having a little bit of die off. I thought, well, I need some help. So the pothos plant went in here and some duckweed, and I haven't had any die off now for about 2.5 days. So I think I've solved the problem, but I'll be monitoring that. My nano tank, pretty much did a 75% water change on that with my cherry shrimp and my little nano fish over there from Florida. And they're good to go. I just moved them right over here for now. I'm not sure how I'm going to play this out yet. Now the 55, my biggest tank, right across here. Excuse the mess. Only place I could go. Right back here. My gouramis are also in here. I've got a few angels. And no die-off. So I went ahead and learned my lesson, and I went ahead and threw some of the beneficial bacteria filled gravel from other tanks as I was breaking them down and started putting them in all my tanks. I did the same thing with this one here. Not that I've had any problems on this tank, but I don't want any problems. So I still might throw in another sponge filter. So I'm up against it. I'm going to be out of town here for about 5 days in a couple of days from the time of this recording. And so I'm in full flux. So now it's finishing up this room and getting some things cut, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, and when I said I was in full flux then, I meant it. I was. Remember, I still had to leave town in a couple of days, and so I want to cut right to the part now where I have to get everything ready to cut some 2x8s, get some cinder blocks ready, and get a shelf ready made for the 55, because I got to empty it, move it, put it on the shelf back in that same room, and fill it back up and stock it, and all that good stuff. So here's the things I needed. I needed a circular saw. I needed the cinder blocks. I needed to spray paint them, and I needed the 2x8 boards, which I was going to cut to the size of the 55. But you know what else I just figured out I need a little bit more time, because this video, if I continue on at this point, it's going to go over 10, and I really don't feel right asking you to watch something longer than 10 minutes. That being said, let's make a deal. I make 10-minute videos. You guys stay, watch them all the way to the end. Even if you gotta walk away, do some laundry, put the clothes in the dryer, let it play. Hit the like button, share it, subscribe it. That is a 36-gallon bow front tank that I picked up in my neighborhood for like 20-something bucks. And I finally escaped it, and I did an okay job. But yeah, there it is right now. And yeah, you guys stay tuned for the next one. Let me get that going right. Let me do it right. And I hope you guys will join me for the rest of the story. And you can just kind of see what I'm doing. And yeah, that's the whole point, is to learn, to grow. My escaping tank was just kind of that thing there I'm not too happy with. But that's what it's about, right? It's about learning and growing and enjoying the hobby. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. 210 Aquatics. I'm Anthony. Take care. Bring the funk back.